All right, good morning, good morning. I'm gonna give people time to jump on before I get into this. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. So again, I'm gonna let people get time to get on. Caught me in the middle of just getting into my practice this morning, getting over a pretty, wasn't too busy of a week, but it was somewhat busy. But yeah, time to get back at it. It's Monday morning. Be sure to comment and let me know where you're watching from as you jump on. Be sure to drop your name in the comments. I want to speak to you guys. And if you have an American version of your name, that would be great. Jalen, I see you. What's up, man? So as you guys are jumping on, Eliezer, guess that's how you say it. How you doing? Just wanted to jump on and connect with you guys this morning before I got too busy into my day. I want to talk about personal growth a little bit. I give people a little bit more time to get on and we jump into it. If you see that share button, go ahead and hit that share button. I'm great. I'm great. Any fathers on here? Give me some thumbs up. Larry, what's up, man? If it is any fathers on here, happy belated Father's Day to you. John, I'm good. I'm good. Oh yeah. Thank you, Jayla. Are you a father? How many of y'all got kids? And how many? Go ahead and drop that below. I have 3. Not yet. Okay. No problem with that. I was a firm believer in no kids, but that all changed after about 5-6 years of marriage. My wife and I, we started just kind of repopulating the earth, so to speak. Be sure to hit that share button and invite some people in. 3. Oh yeah, you're right there with me. You got all grown kids. I'm just getting started. My baby girl is 2 years old, just turned 2. Probably about a week and a half ago. Yes, sir. 2 kids. I see you, John. Well, happy Father's Day again to you guys. I hope that you enjoyed your weekend. I went to one of my favorite eating spots here in Atlanta. And yeah, it was well worth the drive. I moved, and so the spot is like 2 hours away from me now. So it was a little hop, skip, and a jump to go there, but it's one of my favorite spots to go to. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed the food. I'm not bougie, so I like there's this place, if any of you guys are ever in Atlanta, called Marietta Diner. And I love the food. I love the food there. If you are a foodie like me, you ain't got to be all exotic and all that kind of stuff. But if you're ever in Atlanta, check out Marietta Diner and go with a good appetite, because it's gonna be a lot of food. If y'all just like to eat, just for you guys that want to ever visit Atlanta, Georgia. Everybody hadn't checked in. I see some more people online. I don't know who I'm talking to. I definitely want to connect with you guys. Be sure to drop your name in the comments so I can see who I'm talking to. Y'all catching me in a very rusty, very early practice time. All right, so I'll just jump right into it. I don't want to take up too much time on here, but one of the things I posted, if you guys are following me on social media, I posted something last week and I talked about personal growth. I'll read it off to you what I put up. I said, you receive according to your capacity. A full cup cannot hold more water. Maybe you're using a cup when you should be using a bucket. Your personal growth demands that you expand your capacity, or it'll be just like pouring water into a full cup. And so that just came to me like last week. I can't remember what I was doing. It's probably in my time of I have a routine each morning when I get up. I come and I'm trying to meditate. I don't know if any of you guys do any of that kind of stuff. Especially we as musicians, a lot of times we're so busy with everything and just trying to hustle, especially if you're working a regular 9 to 5. You don't really have time to stop and really, grow yourself or work on personal growth much, because it's always something. We're on the go. We're trying to do. We're trying to get, something done. But I heard this saying the other day that said that busyness does not equal productivity. So just because you're busy doing a lot of stuff, and you might be getting a lot done in terms of things, but these things that you're getting done might not necessarily move you forward. So one of the things I want to jump on here today and talk about, again, we call this segment Grooves and Motivation. So, I play a little bit and I talk. But one of the things about it is that you don't always want to be so busy that you're not getting anything done. You're getting a lot of external stuff done for everybody else, but as it pertains to your own personal growth, you're not getting anything done. And so for the ones you jumping on, one of the things I ask guys to do, and I'll say this a few times in the video, so if you've been on here for a minute, just ignore it once I say this. But be sure to drop your name in the comments. I was wishing the fathers on here happy Father's Day. If you're a father, be sure to drop your name in the comment, man. I wanna know who I'm talking to. I'm gonna try to get on here more and more early in the morning, probably Mondays more than likely, depending on how my schedule allows. But I want to connect with you guys and be able to talk with you. So be sure to drop your name. It's kind of very impersonal. The videos that I post, I see the comments afterwards, but this gives me an opportunity to actually connect and see who's watching out there, and be able to somewhat get to know you guys, man. I definitely want to know who's out there watching, and I know you guys have more important things to do, but for you who actually take your time out to check out these videos, be sure to drop your names. I definitely want to connect with you guys more. And so I'm on here early on Monday morning. So Andre, what's up? Good to see you. So yeah, that's the biggest thing, man. You might be busy doing a lot of stuff. Zambia, okay. Kalembe, I think that's how you pronounce it. Terrence, what's up, man? Clarence, I see you. All right, he made sure that he had I'm not a father, but yeah. So yeah, you might be busy doing a lot of stuff, but you might not be getting anything done as it pertains to your personal growth. So you have to make sure that you're setting goals for one. Like I mentioned, I get up now and do a meditation. Um, and it's not necessarily yoga or anything super deep like that, but it's really that time. And if any of you fathers have kids, well, obviously if you're a father you have kids, but you know what I mean. If any of you have kids, you know how it goes. You get up in the morning, your kids, if they get up or if you get up around the same time as your kids, it's like once you hit the floor, especially if you have young kids, it's like your day, you're wide open as soon as you hit the floor. So like you have to be able to beat everybody else up, like not put your hands on them, but like beat everybody else waking up. So one of my things that I started doing a few years ago, because the main reason I started getting up early is because not because of any deep revelation or anything like that. Have three kids, one of each. Oh yeah. Well, happy Father's Day to you. But one of the things one of the main reasons I started getting up because I noticed being a new father at the time. My oldest is 7, but being a new father at the time, I was getting frustrated a lot because my kids would wake up before me. Absolutely, thank you. Uh, Blue-footed booby is. Am I saying that? Am I saying that right? But one of the things I noticed, I would get very frustrated when my kids wake up before me, and it's like they're beating on my dad, daddy, daddy. I would get frustrated a lot. So I knew I would wake up in like a bad mode early, first thing in the morning. And I said, I can't keep doing this. I gotta figure out a way to get a better handle on my day. And I'm being really transparent with you guys. Father, also 2 boys. Thanks for your course, man. No problem. Thank you. But that's the thing I noticed. I was getting really, really frustrated. And be sure to hit that share button, guys. If you see it here, be sure to help hit that share button, throw some likes this way. Um, okay, okay. I see what you're saying. But that's the thing. I noticed I was getting up and I was in such a bad state that I wasn't very positive to be around for my family. And I know it was I mean, the kids are going to be kids, and so they don't know that they're being annoying in the morning. Your thing might not be kids. Your thing might be a roommate. Your thing might be being at home with your parents. You might just wake up in a bad state. So, good morning, man. Who is that? I missed that. Kevin, I see you, John. Thank you guys for watching. So, like I said, you might be waking up in a bad state, and you don't want to do that because now you're kind of shifting the energy of everybody around you, everybody in the house with you. And that's something you really don't want to do. You want to make sure that you're giving off good vibes or positive vibes and that kind of thing so that everybody can get the best version of you, because all of that stuff ties into your own personal growth. Now, something I've been doing, I've been practicing for like the last 4 years or somewhere in that neighborhood, is in my morning routine. My morning routine consists of this. Me personally, I get up as soon as I'm out of the bed, I pray. You know, uh, what's up, Jumbo? Um, yeah, as soon as I get out of bed, you call me a religious guy, whatever the case may be. I don't consider myself religious, but I do, get up and pray in the morning. I pray, I proclaim Jesus, just I'm not trying to force my beliefs on anybody, but that's what I believe. And so I do personally feel that if that's something I'm practicing, I should have a relationship with the one that I say I serve and the one that I say that's my creator, God, being a creator. The first thing I do is I get up in the morning, I give thanks for being able to wake up, and that immediately getting up with that mindset of gratitude, that begins to change your state and begins to set a different tone of the day, as opposed to being woke up and somebody wants you to do something, or you get a phone call with some bad news first thing in the morning. If you can kind of get a jump on your day, depending on, where you are and what you have to do, your job, or what's required of you, if you can get a jump on your day. So if you have to be out of your house at 7 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning, and you normally get up at 5 o'clock. Maybe you should push it back to like 4:30 or push it back to like 4 o'clock. I know that's pushing it, but I'm just kind of giving an example. But if you know your day starts at a certain time and everything is going to kick off for you at a certain time, it's better to go ahead and get a jump on the day so that you're not being shocked. You're not being surprised by everything that's coming at you, by everybody that's, throwing stuff at you. You have a better mind on how to deal with it. So again, my morning routine consists of me praying. Once I pray, I come out here to my studio. It's in a separate building from my house. I come out here to my studio, and I do about 30 minutes of meditation. Who is that? A Javian? I see you. But I come out here and I do about 20 to 30 minutes of meditation. And after I finish meditating, and what I'm personally doing, just in case somebody is curious about, okay, what are you doing meditation? You over there? I'm not doing any of that. For me, I get myself, I put on some really, it's hard for me to shut my brain down. And it might be an issue for some of you guys, especially us musicians. Who is that, Andre? Oh yeah, I'm glad you asked about the sleep thing, man. Sometimes it's difficult. I probably get on average about 5 to 6 hours of sleep. ATL, what's going on? Yeah, I get probably about 5 to 6 hours of sleep, depending on when me and my wife get into bed. Because, that's a whole other conversation. But really quickly, most of the time we try to get our kids into bed around 8:30, 9 o'clock, somewhere in that neighborhood. And what I try to do, because I am a married man, happy Father's Day to you. I'll play some chords in here in a minute. But one of the things I try to do is I try to make sure that I give my wife time, as well as a musician. We can get so consumed in playing music that we forget about the people that are closest to us, because we're always on the grind trying to play music. Somebody asked for some chords, so I'll give you some chords. How about this? I'll loop some chords while you're listening to me. All right, there you go. You got some chords. So again, we can sometimes forget about the people who are closest to us because we're spending all that time trying to, get this music thing down pat, or whatever it is that's kind of taking over our lives. We're spending all the time trying to get better at these things. We got work. We got the kids, we got the hustle of everything we're trying to do throughout the day. So oftentimes your marriage, if you are married, that can suffer. So I make sure that I give my wife her time at the end of the day, spend some time with my wife. So we get into bed around, 10, 11 o'clock, somewhere in there. What's going on from India? Okay, I think I have to go back and check out your question. But yeah, just answering the question of how much sleep am I getting? Yeah, so I'm getting average about 5 or 6 hours, and sometimes it's difficult. I don't want to get up early in the morning. So I'm normally up around about 5:30 in the morning. So again, I come in here trying to finish off what I was talking about with my routine. I get in here and I do the prayer, I do the meditation. And again, that meditation consists of me putting on some music that's really calming to help me shut down my brain so that I can allow new ideas to come in, and so I can, personally, to be honest, to hear from God, or to try to make that connection with Him so that I can better do what it is that I do and it have some sense of meaning. Because what I don't want to ever do is become robotic, You have any information concerning Logic software for a keyboard? Oh, I'll get to that. Hopefully I can get to that by the end of this video. But yeah, that's one of the things. I don't want to get so robotic in terms of being able to do stuff that I have no connection with my creator, or there's nothing there, and I'm just doing stuff. I'm just going through the motions. Because once you do that for so long, me being 36 years old and playing for majority of my life, what you do becomes meaningless when there's nothing connected to it. When you have no connection anywhere, it can become meaningless, and you can kind of wonder why you're doing it. So another thing I do after meditating is I read. Right now I'm working on this book I'm reading by Bishop T.D. Jakes called Crushing. It's a really, really, really great book. I'm not trying to advertise this book or anything. It's just what I'm reading right now. And I read a lot of different stuff, from entrepreneur books to to marketing, to things by different people. Just a lot of self-help type books. I hate to say that term because it sounds kind of derogatory, but those are the type of things I read, things that I feel like that can help me. Where I'm at, most of the time I don't have direct access to mentors. So a lot of times it's great to find people who have already been where you're going, whether that's in the same field you are in, or whether that's in a place of success, or whether that's in a place of serenity, that type of thing. Finding mentors that you can pull from. And if you can't literally get to these people, the next best thing is to read material that they've wrote. One more, 36251. I'll get to that. But it's the thing is, again, finding those things that help you to grow personally. I'm just giving you some examples of some things that work for me. Getting up and after reading, I exercise, and then I'm on the practice where we are now. I'm kind of into my practice, so probably about from 5:30 until about 7:30-ish. I'm working on me as an individual, as a person, on my spirit, mind, body, all of these different things. Those are the things that those are the things I'm trying to do. So these are some things that's kind of helping me in my personal development as a person as well as a musician. So I hope these are some things that kind of help you guys as well. I'm gonna try to attempt some of this stuff you guys asked about. So somebody said, give me 36251. That's what you're talking about with chords. 3, 6, 2, 5, 1 on major 7. That's a minor, and I'm in the key of B. By the way, my bass is 2.5 step down. 6, 2, 5, 1. Absolutely. So I played your chords. So yeah, that's one of the things. Somebody asked a question about logic earlier that I was supposed to address. And just to be clear, guys, on most of these talks in the morning, I'm definitely interested in answering your questions. Let's see here. Do you have any info concerning Logic software for keyboard? I don't know what you mean when you say Logic software for keyboard. I've heard about MainStage, if you're talking about that, like running something as far as MIDI, but Logic software for keyboard, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that question. I do use Logic to record, and the MIDI software, a lot of the virtual instruments in there, I use my keyboard to trigger those sounds in Logic, and that's simply using MIDI, which is there's tons of videos on YouTube that talk about that. I wouldn't consider myself an expert in that area. I do know about it and I know how to use it, but I wouldn't consider that my area of expertise in terms of MIDIing sounds and all that kind of stuff. I know how to do what I do and produce and do all that type of stuff. But yeah, most of these the ones that I get here live in the morning, it's more so what I'm trying to hopefully do is go beyond the break it down a lick and I'm trying not to regurgitate or do the same thing that I'm doing in the lessons or the videos that I post. Hopefully this one is more interactive to where, because here's the reason why. A lot of the questions that I'm asked a lot of times when I'm here live, I've already probably answered those questions in previous videos, or I'm kind of covering a lot of these topics on my website. Who is that? I quite like the minor. Yeah. So a lot of these things I've covered on my website. So if you guys are part of my monthly membership lessons, I'm covering a lot of these things there, and I give my monthly members the option of, asking me a lot of these questions so that I can kind of deal with a lot of these things more in depth in the lessons, because a lot of times when the questions are flooded in real time, it's hard to really dig into that subject and really give it the attention that it needs. But if I'm doing a lesson where I'm talking about this particular subject, I can really dig in and give you more examples and better explain it and feel like we have time and I'm not rushing from this person to that person and missing questions. So that's why I probably will reserve a lot of the playing questions in particular for either the YouTube lessons or the monthly membership lessons on JermaineMorgan.net. But again, guys, my hopes here to hopefully is to inspire you guys, give you some things that I think that go beyond playing. Not trying to tell you how to live your life or anything like that for anybody who's watching that's not familiar with me or the way I kind of do things, but hopefully provide some things that I wish someone would have provided for me when I was getting started. And I'm finding the older I get that there are a lot of people who are still going through life kind of making the same mistakes and expecting different results. And had someone told them the information that I'm now finding out, they probably would have saved themselves a few years. So that's my thing, man, to hopefully save some people some time on making mistakes that they don't have to make and help you to move yourself forward as a player. Now, I made a statement last week on my last live broadcast about, are these, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but are these things necessary to become a better player? I don't think they're going to make you just personal growth. I don't think that has a lot to do with your playing from a technical standpoint, because I know really, really great musicians who are terrible individuals, but they're really great musicians. So personal growth is for your personal development and helping you to be a better individual and make better decisions in terms of your career, in terms of your life, in terms of your family. And I'm more interested in that than just doing one-off gigs or even doing a tour for that matter. Once I come back, I'm no smarter than I was when I left. I'm still a great musician, but I have no common sense and I have no wisdom beyond playing an instrument. So those are the things I'm hoping to instill into the next generation of musicians, or even musicians who are not the next generation. You're part of the current generation, and only thing you know how to do is really just play. We have to be better people. I mean, we got enough great musicians. You turn on YouTube and you'll waste away hours finding great musicians. I mean, there's not a shortage of great musicians. I don't proclaim to be the best. I know I have a gift to do what I do, but I really think, we need better people. Everybody wants to be a great musician, and this might not be popular. I might lose some people on the broadcast because of this, but I think we need better people as opposed to better musicians, because plenty of gigs out there, but it's a shortage of people being great people that are helping to affect change and to cause things to be better in the world that we all have to live in, So enough of that ramble. I just wanted to get on here for a minute, guys, and I told you I would give you some some grooves and motivation. So back to the groove. If anyone has any questions, be sure to drop them in the comment section below. So I'm building this. I'm kind of playing around this dominant type of idea. Obviously, everything I'm doing is built around this A flat idea. Kind of have a sus thing going on here to that dominant. And I'm kind of building my lines off this kind of minor or dominant idea. So I can pull from like blues, I can pull from minor, I can pull from, I can't talk this one, I can pull from dominant. A lot of ideas to kind of really get some improvisation things happening. Or I can kind of pull from the relative major minor ideas. Like if I want to pull from B major, I can do that to pull out some improvisation stuff. Like just taking that B major scale. Just kind of using my relative stuff. And then me, a lot of times, I'll take a lot of that relative major minor stuff and lead into the dominant stuff. And we can still pull off that B. What was that? I missed that last comment there. I don't think I do too much of that, talking about the tritone sub stuff. I mean, and hold on. I missed a couple of comments here. Thank you, Tyrone. Thank you, Waverly. But yeah, I don't really get in, and if you guys have been following me for a while, you know I don't really get into a lot of the technical aspects of I don't really get into a lot of the technical aspects of playing. I don't really pride myself on being a top theory guy. That's not my emphasis, so to speak. I do know theory and I do know some of the things that I'm doing, but majority of my playing, I came from Mississippi, and the majority of my playing came by ear. I wasn't technically trained to play the bass, by going and studying music and studying reading and all this kind of stuff. I did learn to read, but it was more so from a standpoint. I literally played tuba in school, And so I never did any formal bass studies, like any formal studies on bass guitar. I didn't do them. Everything came from literally hands-on and just kind of learning as I went along. So I didn't really dig into it a lot. Did I take theory? Yes, I took a lot of theory, but a lot of the more complicated or more involved things as pertain to theory, I didn't really get that much into, but I do understand exactly what it is I'm playing. I do understand the theory behind it, but never been really big on the name, certain names as it pertains to the theory of the bass or theory in music as it pertains to music in general. But yeah, so I don't know if that answered your question, but just getting that, I'm giving that that answer just in case somebody wants to ask me a whole bunch of questions that are theoretical. Yep, exactly. Yep. But yeah, I'm not really a very technical guy, for lack of better words. Thank you from Colombia. Yes, I'm not really a technical guy. If you're looking for the more technical cast, there are tons of guys here on YouTube like Scott, Derek, who are very more technical than I am. I'm just a simple dude who've been blessed with a gift. Not that I didn't work for it. I don't want to give that illusion that I just got this and I didn't work for it. I really worked my behind off in order to be able to do what I do. But it didn't come from a educational standpoint in terms of I went to school for music, but it wasn't a technical school. I got more of an overview of music and I got more of an idea of the music industry as a whole. The playing kind of came. Fleetwood, what's going on? Oh, I'm sorry, Flow Weed, I read that wrong. But the playing aspect came from me digging and just really using my ears. So I'm really strong on ear training and developing your ears because 98% of my musical career has been based on my ear. I do read, but I haven't spent a lot of time developing my reading. Am I an advocate for reading? I think it's cool. I think it's good. But one of the things I would say to you guys who are thinking about going to school for music or who trying to read or whatever the case, be clear on what you want to do. I think that's the biggest determining factor. Is it helps to know how to read. It does. In certain instances, I have been asked to read, and I hadn't been asked to read charts. I had to sit down with them and study them. My sight reading was crap, but I got through the gigs or whatever. But I would say, kind of know what you're trying to go into. I think having that tool, you can never have too many tools. Knowing theory, yeah, like I said, I studied theory, and I need to go back and kind of restudy some of the things as it pertains to theory. But I think knowing kind of where you are and what you're supposed to be doing as a musician, I almost know it because my neighbor who is currently praised. What was that? I started on the recorder. Oh wow. Yeah, different parts of the world I noticed that the reading thing is very high on the priority list. But being a musician, especially growing up in church, it wasn't really required for church musicians to be able to play by ear. It was not by ear, I'm sorry, by reading. It was required, however, that as a church musician, your ear be really sharp and you really catch on really quick. One of the main reasons that as a church musician growing up most of my life, that the music thing wasn't stressed is because you can learn the song as it goes, but in most church settings and even now, you have to be ready to switch at any moment. And once they go off track, you have nothing. You have no music, no sheet music, even if you're charting music and they decide, and I played with many gospel artists over my career, and a lot of times they want to do something different. And once they go off track, off paper, how well is your ear to keep up with that stuff? Now, if you're in a more formal setting where you're playing concerts for jazz artists, big band stuff, just different types of things, of course, you better know how to read. Even in some blues gigs or some country gigs, if you're walking in as a session player. Now, what's going on, Athens? my experiences as a session musician, it helps me to be able to chart. Now I do the charting with using numbers and that kind of thing, and that helps me. Or if somebody passes out sheet music, that definitely helps speed up the time and speed up the process in trying to learn and cut the song. So in those instances, being able to read, being able to at least chart by knowing the number system, those things come in really, really handy. If you're wondering, like, well, Jermaine Morgan says he doesn't read, or I read, but I don't have to read. What I'm saying in terms of the industry that I'm in. Now I chart out literally almost. I wish I could pull out my folder and show you guys my chart. I chart almost every song, especially when I was playing for the church, because there was so much music I had to learn, and that definitely cut my learning time down in half, being able to quickly chart out the song. So having some form of a way that you can write the music down for your memory's sake is definitely helpful. So if you read, I doubt you're going to be getting sheet music in a gospel music situation. It's going to be very slim to none that people are going to be passing you out sheet music. It does happen, but for the most part, it's something that really doesn't come up for me, because a lot is based on your ear and your ability to retain, your ability to learn quickly, learn the songs quickly, and apply what you know to the songs quickly, and your ability, as we say it in church, your ability to flow. And it's all dependent on your ears. So if you haven't been raised in, been around a church setting, it's very difficult to kind of have a reference point for where I'm talking about. Because if you're just playing top 40 stuff all the time, if you're playing standards all the time, it's probably not as required that you go off course, unless you guys hit a nice little groove, you know. You know, in that case where y'all hit a little moment in the song and you kind of veer off, of course, if you're having fun, whatever happens is going to happen in that moment. But as far as the theory thing, do I encourage it? Yes, I encourage you to learn as much as you can about your instrument, to know as much as you can know about your instrument, but also be aware that you don't become so technical that you're not musical. And I do know a lot of people, even that I went to school with, who were very technical in terms of the theory aspect, but they weren't very musical. They can name every chord, they can name everything, which you know, they could name all of that stuff, but they didn't know how to apply any of it. And my thing, what I try to do here on Jermaine Morgan TV, is I try to give you practical senses. Take things that, you know, are deep in theory, like the modes and the scales and major, minor, pentatonic, and a lot of these different things that people have made super deep only for solo players. I try to figure out ways that the average person who doesn't deal with all that stuff from week to week can use these things in their own playing and in their own music. And those are the things I try to bring here on that channel. And I do encourage you guys to check out other channels. Probably doesn't do me any good for you to check out like Scott's Bass Lessons or Derek or anybody else, but I encourage you to check out and get as much information as you can get from each one of us. I mean, because that's what I'm doing. I'm searching and I'm looking for information that wasn't available to me 10 years ago, you know. So I'm trying to find this information because I want to be better as a musician. I want to grow, and I have dug more. And even though I took theory like umpteen years ago, I forgot most of it, but I'm still digging and trying to find out more things. Oh, this is because here's the thing for me as a player, having so much information under my hands, a lot of the things that I've heard and I've learned over the years, I just know how to do it. Now I have to go back and look up what it's called from a theory perspective, because I know the basics of, okay, this is what I'm playing, but I had to go back and look up some of the things to remember and remind myself, oh, okay, I'm just taking this thing and I'm arpeggiating this particular chord, and in theory it's called this or it's called that. A lot of times I have to do that because I don't start with the theory and then play the music. I play the music first. Then I go back and try to look up the theory of what it is that I'm playing, so I have a better idea of how to repeat what it is and how to explain it to other people. So sorry for that rant on theory. Nonetheless, hopefully this has been helpful. I've been on here longer than I wanted to be on here this morning, but guys, give me some feedback for you who hung around all the way to the end. Let me know your thoughts on the grooves and motivation. Something new that I'm trying on my channel. Hopefully it's helpful to people. What I don't want to do is get on here and waste anybody's time. I don't want to cast pearls among swine, for lack of a better analogy. And I'm not calling anybody a swine, but I don't want to give you information that has helped me to transform my life and the things that are really helping me. But it's stuff that people don't want to hear. People are more like, hey, here, I'm going ahead and play something. Because this information that I am sharing, I do events and conferences and all those type of things, clinics, where people pay me for my information. And so I'm trying to willfully share a lot of what I've learned in hopes to help somebody along the way in their life or in their career. But if you guys don't want that, please let me know. I'm not going to stop sharing. I'm not going to stop doing that. So that's not going to happen. But I do want to get feedback from the ones who are tuning in. Is this something that's helping you? What would you? What are some things that you would like to hear a little bit more about? Some things that I could address. Maybe some things I haven't talked about here on the channel. And they all don't have to always be music related. So again, guys, I'm available here. I'm available on Facebook. I'm available on Instagram at JMorganBass. So be sure to look me up at any one of these places and connect with me. I'm going to be trying to get on here more and more to connect with you guys who are watching my videos. Coming progression. Not sure what you mean, Waverly. Let's see here. Saw a big difference between classical and contemporary musicians when I was at the college. Contemporary stuff definitely has a more intuitive aspect regarding. Yeah, it does. And that's my thing. Is like some things can't be taught. Some things have to be experienced. Explain how to find a sound. It's my biggest thing at the moment. I thought about pedal. If you're trying to find your sound, I would say that's one of the things I kind of hit on the I guess we call this a podcast last week, was about kind of finding your own sound and finding your own voice as it pertains to the music and pertains to your playing. It's not going to come through the pedals that will enhance it. And trying to play like somebody else obviously is not going to get you there. It's going to come from experience and getting more miles under your belt in terms of experimenting. You might have been playing for 30, 40 years, and you might still don't have your own sound. So it's like, man, I've been playing 30, 40 years. What do you mean more experience? I don't mean it in that sense that you need to play more bass. I'm saying you have to experiment. What helped me to find my own sound was recording my own music. Writing and recording my own music. Taking all of the information that I have from all these other songs of everyone else that I've played and start trying to give my personal interpretation of the music. Even if you start out with doing covers, start doing some covers of songs and, give your perspective on it. And that can be from a solo standpoint. That can be from just a bass player grooving standpoint, giving your perspective on the music, changing your tone, experimenting. Okay, I like playing fingerstyle, or I like playing thump or slap style, or I like doing both. I like doing a mixture. Or I like trying this and I like trying that. It's going to come from experimentation. You experimenting with different things and seeing what works. And, the more you do that, it becomes like something where you start to find things that work. You start to find something. It's just experience with anything. The more you do it, you'll find some things. Okay, I like how that sound. I like how this thing worked together. I don't like how that sound. I like using reverb, or with me kind of doing my pedal search. It's like, okay, I like using a little delay. I like using a little chorus. I like using a filter. But I don't like distortion on my bass. When I play guitar, I love distortion. But on my bass, I don't necessarily care for distortion. I like an octaver. I don't like an octaver. It comes from you experimenting and seeing what works for you, and doing that over and over and over again through trial and through error. Through trial and error, and you see what works for you. And once you do that on a regular basis, now you begin to develop a sound. And the more you kind of hone in on what that sound is and start fine tuning that sound, that becomes your sound. Not to mention, you already naturally have a sound anyway. That's the thing that most people miss, because we have an one of a kind, unique fingerprint. So you already have your own sound. Whatever you play, I can show you guys 150 licks. But regardless of what I show you, you're not going to play it like me. You can get close, but it's not going to sound like me, because I have a unique fingerprint, which means my tone, my touch, my sound, everything is unique to me. And it's going to be the same to you. You're not going to have the exact same feel, because all the experiences go into the music. Everything that you've experienced in life go into your music. Might not seem like it right now, but it'll come across in the music. So you have your sound. You just have to trust whatever that sound is and keep experimenting until you're happy with what you're hearing. Hopefully that answered that question. Let's see here. Most people, I'm reading Floyd's question. Most people, statement rather, run from the bass once they make mistakes of learning. Oh yeah, once you make mistakes, instead of learning from that mistake and taking note. Of course, a lot of people run from the bass because of that. A-Town, it's my pleasure. Again, I'm here to help. What I do want to do with you guys with this channel is add value to you. I never want to waste anyone's time. I hope and pray I've done that. We're going to get better at these lives. It's unscripted, it's raw, and one thing, you have to wait for people to comment. You have to wait on communication. It's not like we're talking face to face. Now, if we were in a lesson or one-on-one, this would be easy. But this, I'll admit, being transparent, this is very difficult because I have no idea who's on the other side of that screen, and I don't know what you guys are looking for if you don't tell me. So, but we're going to work through this thing, man. We're going to get better, and I'm going to keep coming out here. I'm going to keep sharing with you guys, connecting with you guys. And so bring your questions. If you haven't checked out my latest video, it's here on YouTube. I think it's called Music with the Lawnmower, Making Music with the Lawnmower, or something like that. Just go to my channel. It's my latest video I posted. I think it's something that you guys will enjoy. Other than that, guys, I'm about to jump off. Thank you for hanging with me this morning, for everybody that hung around all the way to the end. And if you're just now getting on, go back and check out the beginning of the video. And we covered some things. We talked about some things I feel like that will be helpful to you. But other than that, I'm here to help you guys, hopefully to motivate, inspire, and help you grow your sound and unlock your own sound at the same time. Thank you for hanging with me. I'm Jermaine Morgan, and I'm out. Peace. Uh-oh, I said peace and something. Thank y'all, man. I hadn't jumped off yet. I see your comments. For learning bass, I have a beginner basics course on my website. Finna flip the phone over. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I have a beginner basics course on my website. Go to jermainemorgan.net. You can see that, and it'll help you get started. All right, guys, I'm out for real this time. Peace.